Hello everyone, it's Fung Tran from the Prevention and Treatment Health Support Network. How's your blood pressure today? Now the topic for today is when is the best time to measure your blood pressure? Now if you ask your doctor or if you search on the internet, you might be told that you should measure your blood pressure every day at the same time when you are nice and relaxed. This is so that you can see if the treatment is working, to see if you can compare, to see if you have made some progress in the treatment program. Now, is that always the case? Should you always measure your blood pressure when you are nice and relaxed? And should you always measure it at the same time? Let's have a look. Now, if you've been suffering from high blood pressure for a while, you may be aware that sometimes your blood pressure stays at normal levels, sometimes it goes above normal, and sometimes it goes below normal. So let me show you that on a graph. So sometimes it stays at normal. Let's say this line is the normal blood pressure, the normal line. Sometimes your blood pressure hangs around at normal level for a while. Sometimes it goes above level, above your normal blood pressure level. Sometimes it goes below the normal level. And it might go back up to above the normal level and hang around for a while. Or it may go below the normal level and hang around for a while. So if you go to your doctor and measure your blood pressure when it's at normal level, then he may say that there's nothing wrong with you. Go home and don't worry. But if you measure your blood pressure when it is at a high level, then your doctor might say that there's something wrong with you. You should take some medication or do something to control your blood pressure. Or if you go to your doctor and you take your blood pressure and it's below level, you might be told that you are very healthy. There's nothing wrong with you. Go home and don't worry too much. Now, what do you know? What do we know? We know that most of the damages occur when your blood pressure is at a higher level. So, you are most likely to die of a stroke when your blood pressure is higher. You are much more likely to have a heart attack when you have higher level of blood pressure. Now, even if that is for a short time, it doesn't have to be for a prolonged period of time. The problem would be worse if your blood pressure remained higher for a prolonged period of time. Also, when you're at lower level, there are some problems as well. You might feel drowsy, sleepy, you may have poor concentration, and so, when is the best time to measure your blood pressure? Have a think about it. Now, the problem is sometimes your blood pressure might be only high when you are sleeping. Now, no one would measure their blood pressure when they are sleeping. What if every night you go to bed and your blood pressure goes through the roof? And when you go to your doctor, he takes your blood pressure measurement and it's normal. Then you might have high blood pressure, but it will never be detected. And maybe 5 or 10 years later, you end up with heart attack or a stroke. What if during the day your blood pressure fluctuate, but every time you go to your doctor the blood pressure always hang around the normal level, then your blood pressure the problem will never be detected. So that is the problem. So should you measure it when it's at its highest level, or should you measure it when it's at its normal or lower level? The answer is you should know. You should know when it is at its normal level, when it is at its higher level, and when it is at its lower level. Now, it is important to know when your blood pressure is higher than normal, because it can give you some clues as to what is causing or contributing to your high blood pressure. For example, every time you get angry, your blood pressure goes through the roof, then that could be one of the cause. Every time you get a bit stressed or a bit depressed, you take your blood pressure and it goes up the roof, then that could be one of the cause or contributing factor. Every time you have an asthma attack, your blood pressure goes up the roof. Or every time you have a cold, just a common cold, also your blood pressure you take your blood pressure and it goes through the roof, then it could be a contributing factor or a cause of your high blood pressure. Or every time you smoke a cigarette, every time you suffer from a lot of pain, every time you feel a bit worry and you cannot sleep, you take your blood pressure and it goes through the roof. It can help you to find out what is causing your blood pressure. Or every time you go to bed at night and you have sleep apnea or you snore, and somehow you wake up and measure your blood pressure and it goes through the roof, then you know that your snoring or sleep apnea is causing your blood pressure. So that can be used to determine the cause or contributing factors. So it is very important to know the trigger of what triggers your blood pressure. And if you have a blood pressure monitor, one of those machine handy, you can use it to find out the triggers or the causes or the contributing factors that lead to higher blood pressure. Because when you go to the doctor, if you're lucky, you get it up here, sometimes it's here, sometimes, because your blood pressure fluctuates during the day. It's not reliable. If you've been suffering from high blood pressure, it is good if you can get one of those machines. Take your blood pressure a few times during the day to see when it is higher. And if you can, try and find out what triggers it. If you can do that, then you'll be more successful at treating your blood pressure. Let's try an example. Now, let's say every time you get a bill, every time a bill goes to your house, you get a bit stressed, you get a bit anxious, and your blood pressure goes up. Should you go to your doctor and get some medication for your blood pressure? No, because your stress level would still be the same. Now, let's say every time you have an asthma attack and your blood pressure goes through the roof, should you go to your doctor and get some blood pressure medication? No, you will still have the asthma attack. Every time you go to bed and you snore or have sleep apnea and your blood pressure goes through the roof, should you go to your doctor and get some blood pressure medication for your blood pressure? No, you would still snore. So that's no good. Every time you you can't sleep, you worry a bit, you are in a bit of pain, and your blood pressure goes through the roof. Should you go to your doctor and get some blood pressure medication? Maybe not. You would still cannot sleep, you would still suffer a lot of pain, you would still worry. So if you know what the triggers are, you can be more direct. You can be more successful at removing the triggers, removing the cause. And if you can maintain your blood pressure, instead of having it up and down all the time, if you can find out what the triggers are, you can maintain it at around the lower level. And the more time you have at the normal level, the less damage you will have to your body, and in the long run, you'll be much more healthy and suffer a lot less. So, have a think about it. When should you measure your blood pressure? Leave some comments, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.